His House. His House is a drama and horror thriller about a refugee couple who make a harrowing escape from a war-torn South Sudan, but then they have to adjust to their new life in an English town that has an evil lurking beneath the surface. Story told by Toby Venables and Felicity Evans, screenplayed and directed by Remy Weeks, starring Sope Dirisu as Bal Major, Wunmi Musako as Real Major, and Matt Smith as Mark Esworth. And if you are new to the channel, please make sure you are subscribed with your bell notifications turned on. And to anyone that's clicked on this video, I'm sorry for the hiatus. If you're new to the channel, you would have not seen the hiatus for 2 weeks or so. But it's good to be back. Now, His House. Where I would like to start with this review was that when I saw the trailer for His House, I had this fluttering thought in my head, and I thought to myself, if this movie is just as good as that trailer, because I thought the trailer that Netflix put out for this movie, I thought was brilliant, and I thought it really got my anticipation and my excitement really high for this movie. And I just thought to myself, if the movie is as good as the trailer, then we're going to have a lightning in the bottle situation. And what then even elevated my excitement even further was when I then found out when Mike Flanagan put out a tweet on Twitter saying how much he thoroughly enjoyed the movie. So then I just told myself, I have to sit down and I have to watch this movie. If the mastermind that is Mike Flanagan is saying that, and he's recommending this movie, the man that created Hill House, Doctor Sleep, and The Haunting of Bly Manor, I can't take that compliment with a pinch of salt. I have to sit down and fully invest myself to this movie and see if it is good as he says it is. And the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, His House combines themes that I've never really seen before in a movie. We have the subject matter and the issue base of asylum seekers with the theme of psychological horror. And that's a cross-matching that I've never really seen before within a movie. And it has to be said that movies like this don't really come across our path every once in a while. But when they do cross our path, and when they are poignant, and when they hit the right notes, they can be brilliant. And His House is a truly, truly great movie. And I only can regard and give the highest testament to Remy Weeks. And this movie is his first ever feature film. It's his debut film. And the level of craft and the level of thought that went into this movie, it really is spellbinding. And I can only congratulate him on a fantastic job. The movie has just brilliant first-person ideologies, great non-linear structure, brilliant hidden subtext exposition that ties in the characters' motives and their inner conflicts from the beginning all the way to the end, and making correlations between scenes. And I'm really blown away. I really am. And from the very get-go with this movie, you get the sense of the isolation, the neglect that you feel within this film atmospherically. From the opening process of seeing the couple go from the detention center and then go to the council house that they're being surveyed and checked upon within this house, and you get this eerie feeling. Um, Not only the fact that it's that when it takes off, it is a psychological horror, but also the level of somewhat of a depravity that 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 goes into the process. Um, into how people look upon asylum seekers and therefore how they are treated as well. And you can feel that to the very core with this movie. Um, and another thing that is so poignant within the film is the film's sound. Um, it does a really good job of immersing yourself within this world in just creepy things like just the rattles inside walls and footsteps that feel like they're walking around your head, and you know all of those all of those elements really played well into into the movie. And when you take when a movie takes you back, you really have to show me something that I haven't seen before. And there's a brilliant moment in this movie where it cross merges the the kind of practical set with the combination of cinema and cinematography, theater and cinema simultaneously becoming one with a moment with Bowles' character, and I was like, that is something that I really haven't seen the entire year, and it's a great moment because it plays in the whole psychological nature into the theme of, is it real, is it not, is it in his head, is it not, and it keeps you second guessing on this journey with this couple. And which leads me to my next point. Sope Dirisu is an unbelievable, captivating actor. I mean, I'm just convinced that this man could, you know, I'm convinced that he could sell ice to a polar bear. That is how good of an actor Sope Dirisu is. And I feel like you're going to admire him, his performance a lot more after, if you are a fan of Gareth Evans and you saw him in the latest Gangs of London TV show. You know, the difference between the physicality difference between what Elliot's character is, this hard, rugged, rough around the edges, takes no shit kind of persona, to a man that's very endearing and very nuanced and very quiet. You know, when you see when an actor is very thoughtful about their craft, when they even change the way that they walk, that subtle difference between what this character looks like and then what does Elliot's character looks like in Gangs of London. And being an actor myself, and you can see the level of depth that Sope Dirisu has gone into to really convey this interpretation of this man that is haunted by his past. I mean, we can only applaud his work in his house, and I want many people to appreciate his performance. And one thing, if I was to now go into maybe the writing of this movie, one thing that maybe could have been slightly lacking for his character was maybe there was an element of his character that I wish that the movie had doubled down in making him a little bit more, not three-dimensional, but it was just a case of just showing the audience that he is a clever man, because the film issues that he is a banker, but we never really at any given point get to really see how clever he is. I mean, it is really just a minor thing to touch upon, but for Remy Weekes, I really want to see him hit the next pinnacle, and I want to see him keep going with his filmmaking and his filmography. You know, just to hit these these little points, because when looking at when looking at The Girlfriend, she has a very clear first person ideology that actually gets tied into some very deep rooted conflict in the movie. And when it's revealed, you just, you got your hand in your heads and you're thinking, this is just so unfortunate, you know. Another thing that I have to just to give more positive notes, I had my constructive criticism just then, but there's something very brave that Remy Weekes does in this movie, and it's him showing racism from a different perspective that we haven't seen before within movies. And it just goes to show that, you know, prejudice and, prejudice in general can exist in anyone, and it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. And I feel like that notion is very scary and it's very profound, and especially in the way that he delivered it to his audience. I was like, I was not expecting that, you know. And you know, when you watch his house, you feel these themes of Get Out and Hereditary, and this movie done great ways in utilizing the way that it wanted to, how it wanted to convey its horror through the movie. It wasn't using generic jump scares. It wasn't. It was, you know, it was a good mix of everything. You know, there would be times where he would scare you, and there'd be times where he'd subvert your expectations. And when you get to the second act of this movie, it feels like someone strapped you on a Call of Duty javelin missile and then launched you into a friggin' tornado, and then you're spinning around, and then you fly back into the javelin missile, and then you're like, oh, this is where I am. Where am I? Oh, we're here. Oh yeah, we are. You know, and that's all down to some great non-linear structure that he plays with in the movie. And I've got to say this. I highly, highly recommend you to watch his house. It tackles issues that we've not really seen before, especially with the themes of psychological horror, and I just think it makes for a truly unique experience to watch this film. And I will be giving his house a very solid 9 out of 10. And it could very well be one of the best films I've seen this year. And I think it deserves to be seen by everyone. Guys, if you've seen his house, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, in the description, as always, I'll have other horror movie reviews that I've done on the channel and all of my most recent uploads as well. Guys, check out his house on Netflix, and I can tell you will walk away with an experience that you won't forget. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.